Just a bit of a content warning, there is old Doom footage with texture filtering on. Now if this distresses you, click off the video now. But if it doesn't, and you're okay, let's proceed. Fuck's sake, man. Doom 2's levels are meant to be played consecutively and are not broken up into episodes. I prefer the episodic format of Doom 1, as I find that helps the game's pacing and each episode has their own unique theme. Episode 1 is all tech bases and UAC facilities. Episode 2 blends hell and science together with the shores of hell, and Episode 3 fully leans into the demonic imagery. Doom 2 still has 3 central themes as well, with the space station, city, and hell levels, but that isn't made entirely clear to first-time players, and I feel like if there were episodes included, the game would be much better for it. Also, it can sometimes become a slog, going through 30 levels one by one with no in-game breakups, 32 if you count the 2 secret levels. A question that I think of when playing Doom 2 is what if the game was trimmed down to a single episode, like the original Doom, with 8 main levels and 1 secret level? That is the topic I want to take a look at today, and I also want to know what 9 levels you would pick for your Doom 2 episode. With that said though, let's get into the core of the video. Cutting more than 20 levels out of Doom 2 is a difficult thing to do, but one thing is for certain, Entryway is in 100%. Some people might cut Entryway as the first level and replace it with Underhalls because of the super shotgun, but I think in general, Entryway looks and plays better. I love the outside areas in Entryway, the inclusion of the chainsaw is awesome, I like the demon encounters as brief as they are, so yeah, level 1 of this hypothetical Doom 2 episode is Entryway. With level 2, I am going to put the Crusher in that slot. Again, Underhalls would be a solid choice, along with the Gauntlet and the Focus, but I prefer the Crusher most out of all of those maps. I like how the Crusher has a gimmick on display with the Crusher device used to kill the Spider Mastermind or the Hell Knights, depending on the difficulty, but it isn't the only reason to play the level. It's the standout set piece, but not the only set piece, if that makes sense. The introduction of the Revenant is top-notch. The verticality to this map is solid, and I think it would make for a good level 2 in this episode. The Inmost Ends is a decent level in Doom 2, and while it isn't one of my favourite levels, it does make for a good palette cleanser map. The almost symmetrical layout is very different from the levels that came before, and there's some decent gameplay on offer. This is one of American McGee's levels, and I think it would make for some good variety, so that's why I'm putting it into the episode. Plus the Archvile at the end would make for a good surprise to new players, similar to his reveal in Circle of Death. Speaking of that map, if I didn't pick the Inmost Ends for this level slot, I would have chosen Circle of Death instead. I think the Inmost Ends is the superior level, so that's why it's on the list. The first Romero level to be included into this Doom 2 episode is Industrial Zone, taking up the level 4 slots. I think having a city map is crucial when restructuring Doom 2 as a singular episode, since the game's subtitle is obviously Hell on Earth, and out of all of the city levels we have, Industrial Zone makes the most sense to add. Industrial Zone looks the nicest out of suburbs, downtown, and the factory, it has the most interesting layouts, and it also contains the exit to go to the secret levels. Just like Doom 1, I am only going to have 1 secret level in this episode, but we'll cross that bridge when we come to it. I love the hit-scanning snipers on the rooftops. The little platforming sections might be annoying to some, but I've learned to appreciate them, and while I don't think Industrial Zone is the best Doom 2 level or anything, it is the best out of the city levels, so that's partially why I'm including it. Plus, it's a decent map in its own right, and I've softened up on it over time. Let's get into the secret level now, where I'm not actually going to pick Wolfenstein or Gross for this spot. I think having either one of these levels as the secret map of this episode is played out, and I think Dead Simple is a very solid replacement. Dead Simple has a very straightforward gimmick, and it works perfectly as a secret level that you don't have to access, but if you do, you're gonna have a good time. Unlike the Crusher and how that gimmick doesn't overshadow the rest of the level, Dead Simple relies on its gimmick, and with that in mind, I still love Dead Simple as a map, but I don't think it belongs in a single episode like this normally, which is why it's the secret level. After the secret map, the episode goes to level 5, in which I chose Gotcha to be in that spot. Gotcha has a great set piece with the Spider Mastermind and Cyber Demon fight, there are plenty of little hidden areas to explore, and it's a solid level to play after beating the secret level or finishing Industrial Zone. The Catacombs is up next, and holy shit, this can be a brutal level if you don't know what you're up against, which is why it takes the level 6 spots. We're getting towards the end of the episode, and I feel like it's appropriate to increase the difficulty. Also, the level is pretty concise, and that's another reason why I think it's awesome. It's short, it doesn't keep the player for too long, but it's such a perfectly designed map at the same time. The final 2 levels of my episode here were made by Romero, and those consist of the Abandoned Mines and the Living End. I think the Living End is definitely the better level out of the 2, but both have tight corridors and ledges to navigate, and they both complement each other that way. The Living End has the Cyber Demon fight to wrap up the level, and while the player can just run to the exit without even engaging him, I don't feel it's right to choose the Icon of Sin as the final level. I know that it's an iconic fight, but it doesn't hold up in my opinion, and the Living End is much more of a satisfying conclusion to the game. It's a pretty lengthy and difficult level, and I prefer that to just shooting rockets into the Icon of Sin's brain. That being said, what if Doom 2 was a singular episode? Let me know what you think about this little exercise in the comment section down below, and I would love to hear what levels you would include in a 9-map episode based on Doom 2. Thank you for watching.